Welcome to Sunday Stretch. For today's class, we're going to be using foam rollers. I have two options here. One is from Trigger Point. You can see it has all these kind of grooves and edges. It's also hollowed out in the middle. This one's more dense than this foam roller. This one's lighter, so it won't feel as intense. You can play around to find a density that works for you. You might also notice that you might want to use different densities for different parts of your body. Some might be more sensitive, some might be more resilient, so play around with that. I do suggest that when you buy a foam roller, you find one that's at least 36 inches long. That's just so you also have the option of lying down vertically on the foam roller and having both your head and tailbone supported at the same time. So before we start rolling out, we're just going to do a few movements to get your body warmed up and prepped. Start at the edge of your mat, feet about hip width apart. Take a nice deep inhale and feel your spine lengthen up. And exhale, you're going to nod your chin down to your chest, rolling down one bone at a time. Inhale here. Exhale, tuck your pelvis and come back up. Rolling your shoulders back at the top. We're going to do this 3 more times. Exhale, chin tucks, you roll down. Soften those knees, tuck your pelvis, and start to restack your spine, one bone at a time. 2 more. And on this next one, you're going to roll down. Let your hands come down onto the mat. And you're going to walk yourself out into a plank. Hold the plank here. Make sure you have your hands underneath your shoulders, just about as wide as your shoulders. You're drawing those low abs in, lightly tucking your pelvis. Pressing into the pink side of your hands and lifting your chest away so we're not sinking into the pose. And as you exhale, pike your butt up, lean your hips back, reach your heels down so you find a bit of length in the back of your legs, and then lift your heels and articulate all the way out into your plank. Opening your collarbones wide at the top. Exhale, draw those little abs in, piking your butt up, reaching those heels back, and lift your heels, articulating out. 3 more like this. And 2. Final 1. You're going to pike your butt up and start to walk your hands back up towards your feet. And slowly start to restack your spine, one bone at a time. We're going to do a few squats here to get your legs warmed up as well. So make sure you have your feet about hip width apart. Send your butt down and back in space. And then press into your heels and stand. Send your butt down and back. And stand. Squeezing your glutes at the top here for these last 7. Make sure that when you're squatting down, your knees don't knock in or open out too far. You're keeping them tracking right down the middle with your second and third toes. And you're also leaning your hips and butt back without overarching or flexing in your spine. Nice long line. So all the weight goes into your heels and we get the back of your legs and your glutes to lift you up in the squat. Last 3. 2. And on this next one, you're gonna hold the squat down as low as feels good for you. Hold it here, make sure you've got a nice position. You feel the weight in your heels, your hamstrings and glutes are working, spine is nice and long. Pulse down an inch and up, down an inch and up for 8, 7. Nice and steady, pressing from your heels for 5, and 3. Last 1. And come all the way back up. Beautiful. We're going to grab a foam roller, again, whichever density feels best for you. And you're going to place the foam roller horizontally on the mat so it's parallel with the edge. You're going to sit down, move the foam roller if you need to so that when you lie back on the foam roller, it's just around your mid-back, around that bra line area. For here, keep your tailbone heavy, keep your knees bent. Interlace your hands behind your head. Take a nice deep inhale. And exhale, you're gonna let your head dip down, finding a small extension in your spine. Inhale at the bottom. And exhale to curl up. Inhale. Move the foam roller a little further up or a little further down if you need to find a nice spot here. Curling up. One more. And you're gonna hold the curl up here. Press into your heels and lift your butt up. You're going to roll that foam roller down your back, just like your low mid-back. Don't go onto your low back itself. And then up your spine. Good. Rolling up. And down. In this, you might have to readjust the foam roller. It keeps sliding a little further away each time. And also keep in mind that you can linger in any of these movements for as long as you like. If something feels good, just stay in it. If something doesn't feel good, feel free to skip it. This class is all about helping you find a little release in your body after a long week. Doing 3 more. Two. And after that last one, I want you to hold that foam roller around your mid-back. You're going to keep your butt lightly lifted, and I want you to just roll from side to side. Nice and slow, going as gently as you can. And next time you're twisted to the left, I want you to hold it there. Let your butt come down. Beautiful. Maybe go a little deeper here to the left. Nice deep breath. You're going to exhale, lift your butt up, and you're going to roll up and down here. You always want to make sure that you're avoiding any bony parts in your body. You don't want to roll over kind of bony landmarks. That's not going to be very good. You want to stay over muscle as much as possible. You're gonna do 2 more like that. And then I want you to lower your hips down, turn all the way onto your side. You're gonna have that foam roller just underneath your armpit. And then here, doing that same forward and back roll. Leaning forward and back. Feel free to reach your arm long if that feels good for you. This one's gonna feel intense, at least for me personally. And you're gonna find a tender spot. It might be a little further forward, it might be a little further back. Once you find it, you can kind of roll up and down. It's not a very big movement, but I want you to make sure that you're breathing the entire time that you're doing this. With each exhale, your brain tells your muscles to let go and release, allowing you to soften that muscle and really dig a little deeper with the foam roller. If we keep our breath in, that's gonna tense your muscles, which might make this more painful than it needs to be and could potentially cause injury. So nice and slow, keep breathing. 2 more here. And after that last one, can you go a little farther forward? Hold it there. Exhale, feel your muscles melting over that foam roller a bit more. One more breath. Good, and after that last one, carefully come to center. Readjust the foam roller if you need to. You're going to gently twist your chest to the right, lift your butt up, and roll up and down here. Again, nice small movement, trying to avoid any bony parts. And after this last breath, you can turn over onto your side, resting your hips down. We're gonna go for that armpit movement here. So all you're going to do is have the foam roller underneath your right armpit, rolling forward and back, forward and back. Looking good. And once you find that tender spot again, rolling up and down. Breathing here. Excellent. And after that last one, lean forward, holding it there for 3 breaths. Feel how your body just melts over that foam roller with each exhale, sinking down towards the mat a bit more with each breath. For 2. And 1. Carefully come back to center. You're going to sit all the way up, and you're going to sit on the foam roller. So here you want to make sure that you've got the foam roller resting on the meaty part of your glutes. We're not resting on the bony sits bones area. Cross your left ankle over your right knee. So we're in this figure 4 position, and you're just going to rock from side to side. We're starting out with that left glute first. And here we're just kind of rolling out that piriformis. It's one of your deep 6 glute muscles. It helps you externally rotate your leg and also open your leg out to the side. finding a spot that feels pretty good, pretty tender, and rolling up and down there. Again, these are all pretty small movements. You want to focus on the breathing part, especially that exhale, trying to relax into the stretch. Good, going here for just 3 more breaths. And after that last one, carefully coming right back to center, switching sides, crossing your right ankle over that left knee, and holding it on that right side, rolling up and down. Two more breaths. And after that last breath, coming right back to center, uncross your legs. You're going to place that foam roller on your left IT band. So here you want to make sure that you're not rolling over your big kind of like bulging bone here in your femur, that greater trochanter. It kind of sticks out. You should be able to feel it. You want to stay away from rolling over that. And you want to make sure that you don't roll over the side of your knee either. So we're going for this length here. Keep in mind, if you do have IT band syndrome, it's pretty acute, or this IT band kind of feels weird, avoid rolling over it for today. It's best if you kind of let that relax and focus more on your TFL and your glute med, which we'll get to in a moment. So for this one, you have 2 options. You can have your right foot kind of resting forward, creating a bit of support here so we're not placing all of our body weight onto the foam roller. Left leg is going to be nice and long. You have your left forearm down on the mat, and you're just going to roll up and down here. Again, feel free to send that foam roller a little further down so you have a bit more range of motion in this movement. If you want to add more intensity, you can stack your legs. Oh, that feels like a lot. And also play around with kind of going slightly forward, so you're getting a bit more of that forward part of your IT band that meets your quad. Maybe moving a little bit back, finding that IT band and hamstring connection a bit more. Nice and steady here. Breathing here. And finding that spot that feels tender once more. Rolling forward and back. Good. And after that last breath, beautiful. Take that foam roller out from underneath you. We're gonna go for your TFL a little bit here. So your TFL is this muscle that lives somewhere between where your front hip point is and your greater trochanter is. So right here. And it feeds into your IT band. So we're gonna find that muscle. Again, find your two bony landmarks first. That space in between, place your finger on it. You're going to lie down on that foam roller just in that spot. Again, making sure that you're not on any bony parts. And you're just gonna kind of roll up and down here, super tiny, minuscule movement. If you have like just a sticky spot, feel free to go forward and back here. Again, very small rocking movements. Maybe you just want to hold it, breathing into it. Two more breaths. And after that last breath, beautiful. You're going to come onto all fours first. Place that foam roller kind of down by your knees. And you're going to lie down on that foam roller, going to this kind of like plank motion. Again here, position, you don't want to let your low back sink down. Keep your core engaged so we're protecting your low back. And you can roll up and down here. We're focusing on the left leg, so if you want to add a little extra intensity there, you can cross your right leg over your left. If you don't want that much intensity, again, you can just roll both quads out at the same time. Or you can have one leg slightly forward, but this also kind of depends on how flexible you are. And again, feel free to kind of roll a bit on your left side of the quad, maybe a little bit more on the inside of your quad. Whatever feels best. Avoiding your knee and avoiding your hip bones. Good. 3 more breaths here. And on this last breath, you're gonna hold that sticky spot, breathing into it as you exhale, allowing your muscle to melt, giving into the stretch a little bit more. Try not to grip. Excellent. And we're going to do everything on the other side. So we're going to start first with that IT band. Take this out quickly. So again, you want to make sure that you're not rolling over that greater trochanter. Again, find that bony part. You're going to place the foam roller just underneath it. Right forearm is down on the mat. You're gonna have that left foot forward if it feels good for you, legs stacked if you want a little more intensity, and just start rolling up and down here. Feel free to adjust if you need to. And then you can roll slightly forward, slightly back, seeing how that changes this stretch. After this last breath, find that sticky spot. You can roll forward and back. Really getting that muscle to relax and release. Two more breaths. And And after that last breath, beautiful, you can carefully come up. We're gonna go for that TFL. So again, you wanna find that bony part of your greater trochanter and the front of your hip. You're going to place the foam roller on that meaty part right there. So hold on to that position. Place the foam roller, making sure you're not rolling over any bones here. You're going up and down a tiny inch. Breathing here. I'm also saying that a lot so that I remind myself. And you can hold it in place, rolling forward and back against small inches. Maybe it feels good for you and you prefer to just hold it. And after that last breath, coming onto all fours, we're gonna go for that quad stretch over on the right side. Again, you can start by wrapping that foam roller down on your knees. Bring your forearms down so you're in that plank position. Move the foam roller if you need to, so it's in a better position. Keep your core engaged, your low abs drawing in. Just gonna roll up and down. Avoiding your knee, avoiding your front hip bones. Again, if you want to add a bit more intensity, you can cross your left leg over your right. Feel free to also just have that left leg slightly forward. If it feels a little easier, you can move the foam roller a bit more off the side so you have some room on the mat for your foot. You can roll up and down here still. Again, maybe a little bit more out to the side, outside of your quad. A little more on the inside. For 3 breaths. And on that last one, holding. You can roll from side to side. Seeing how that changes the stretch a bit. We just hold it in place for 2 breaths. Excellent. Carefully come up. You're gonna grab that foam roller, place it kind of this diagonal. We're gonna roll out your inner thigh here, starting with your left. So you're gonna have your forearms down, and you're gonna let that left leg rest over the foam roller. And from here, just go in and out. Again, if you find a point, feel free to hold there. And then once you find that tender spot, just hold and melt. Relaxing that muscle over the foam roller. And then switch sides. Just rolling out and in. 3 more breaths. Find that sticky spot, hold it there. Relaxing your body over the roller. And after that last breath, carefully coming up. Good, so for this one, you're gonna have the foam roller a little further down. We're gonna have your calves on. Excellent. So from here, have your hands behind you. You're gonna have them pointing out, pointing back, whatever feels best for you. And you're gonna press into your hands and lift off. Here, just kind of rolling up and down your calves. We're gonna start focusing on the left calf first. So again, feel free to cross your right leg over your left. That's gonna add a bit more pressure. If you want to release a bit of pressure, you can bring your right foot down. That helps you kind of support your body weight with your arms and legs. Feel free to rotate that leg in a little bit, feeling a bit of stretch as you roll out the inside edge of your calf. Maybe you can roll onto the outside. See how that changes. See which one feels a little more tender. Two more breaths. And then rest. Nice deep breath. Switching sides. This time focusing on your right calf. Again, feel free to have your left leg crossed over your right, or have your left foot on the mat for a bit more weight support. You can roll it out. Also, you can notice here any difference from side to side. Is your right calf a bit more tight? Is it a little more relaxed? Good. After that last breath, you can relax. Carefully come down. For this, you're going to lie down. And you're going to place that foam roller underneath your sits bones. You want it to be more towards your butt. So again, we're not letting it rest on your low back or on your tailbone. A little bit more on the cushy part of your glutes. Left leg is going to stay long. You're going to bring that right knee in towards your chest, helping you find a bit of length here in that left hip flexor. If you want to make this a bit more intense and you have some ankle weights, feel free to wrap them around your ankles for this. It helps kind of press your leg down, opening up that left hip flexor even more. Two more breaths. And then switch. Right leg goes long, left knee comes in. One more breath. And after that last breath, bring your feet onto the mat. You're gonna slide that foam roller out from underneath you. I'm switching here. We're gonna go for our last one. I want something that's a little lighter density for this one. You're gonna place that foam roller again horizontally on the mat, lying all the way down, but this time you're going to rest your neck on it. You can keep your knees bent, legs long, whatever feels best for you. And you're just gonna gently shake your head no, going from side to side. Nod your head yes. And if this feels good, you can just keep your head resting on the foam roller. You're gonna butterfly your legs, so have the soles of your feet together, knees bent, creating this diamond shape with your legs. You can rest your hands on your thighs, on your belly, or by your sides on the mat. Take this moment and just close your eyes. Take a really deep inhale. Feel how your body fills up with air, and then exhale. Body starts to melt down on the mat. 4 more like this. During these really stressful times, don't underestimate the power of breath. Take a really deep inhale in, emptying your mind, and as you exhale, you're releasing tension from your body, letting your muscles relax. And after that last breath, you can stay here for a little longer if you want. If not, I want you to carefully come all the way up. You can take that foam roller out. And we are done. So again, this was our Sunday stretch series using a foam roller. Thank you for tuning in, and I hope you guys have a really nice day.